Hey guys, Jay-Games here again. This week, what if Goku and Broly were brothers? Based on this, what if, well, Broly would be sent to Earth by Piccolo. So, this one, King Vegeta didn't get the notice of, got the notice of Broly being noted well over, 900. Well, Broly's canonical birth level, I believe, in Super is 920, canonical Broly in, not canonical Broly. The current Broly in Super was 920, then in Z, I'm pretty sure it may have been like where Joke 10,000 started, but I'm not really too knowledgeable in the Z movie. I haven't seen it in a long time. So yeah. So Piccolo basically will get to know, like, he was there when Broly's power level was scanned, and immediately the scientists immediately ran off to go tell King Vegeta. If they were excited, thinking the king would be excited as well. But Piccolo knows how King Vegeta would act. So he punched a hole through the container, tearing Broly out of the container, and running to a nearby ship. And Broly didn't really need a pod. He may have been young, but he can survive. Broly's a bit nervous waking up. Then, as soon as he began freaking out, Piccolo grabbed his tail and squeezed it, full force. But then he had an idea. With how strong Broly is, well, whatever planet he goes to, he'll rampage on it. So to prevent this, he tore off Broly's tail immediately, making Broly pass out, not cry at all. Then he charged up Keen's finger and began searing Broly's tail, the point where his skin kind of just formed around the tail. Or where the tail should have been. Which that's kind of gross. Like Piccolo kind of burned away, and he changed the tail growing back. Before he appears on the pod, kicking the door open, then put Broly inside, and put in coordinates to a random planet. This planet happened to be Earth. At least he wanted one out of Frieza's jurisdiction that wasn't uninhabitable. He found one a bit weaker than planet Vegeta, and Broly arrived on Earth. Then, like 2-3 years later, or maybe between 1 and 3 years later, Goku's into Earth as well, as that was the exact same thing. Piccolo is also executed for setting Broly away, or executed before King Vegeta can send Broly away. But Goku ends up on Earth as well. So he had the same planet as Beerus, somewhere far away from Earth, somewhere far away from the Frieza Force, and out of their jurisdiction. And Goku would land on Earth as well, as Gohan had seen Goku. So Broly currently is roughly around 1,200. So Broly isn't really too scared of anyone right now. Yeah, also Broly isn't too rowdy, he's more of a very gentle soul. But they found the pod, and Goku is pretty rowdy. But, Broly is actually able to grab onto Goku by the tail and hold him in place. Some of Broly's first memory is his dad grabbing his tail, and then throwing him into a pod and shipping off through space. So yeah. Broly immediately grabbed Goku's tail, and Goku just passed out. As Gohan and Gohan nod, as Gohan says, "Well, that was good to know. Thank you, Broly." Broly says, "Sorry, it's just something that I remember my dad doing before he got sent here." Gohan would nod, saying, "Well, your dad saved your life, I bet, if this boy was sent here as well." Then they bring Goku inside, they take off his Saiyan armor, and replace it with a gi. They don't really have more like Goku, like Broly uses. Broly has an orange gi, and Gohan only has a purple one. So yeah. Now with this, Goku and Broly are raised together as brothers for a bit, but Goku's still pretty rowdy. But when him and Broly are training, Broly hit him in the face too hard, and Goku kind of been shaking and twitching for a bit before he just passed out. Broly eventually felt like screaming, being pretty nervous, running over to Goku. He be patting his head down and everything. Goku's head bleeding anything, but he's nervous. But then eventually, Goku had woken up, and was a bit goofy. And Gohan says, "Broly, I think you hit him too hard." Broly says, "Yeah, I know, I'm sorry." Gohan smiles, saying, "No worries." So yeah. Now after this, we go into Grandpa Gohan's death, where Goku still goes out to use the bathroom, looks at the moon, and Broly didn't know what to do about this, because he's never turned into a great ape before. Piccolo kind of made sure he wouldn't. But in the midst of this rampage, with Broly already being in thousands, Goku barely being above 200 at this point, Broly's fighting great Goku, as he can't fly, but he can just try to use his full power. But Gohan eventually just died due to rubble. But Broly's still beating Goku. He knew the tail was weakness, so he immediately grabbed onto it and began tearing it out from the root before tearing it off the grave completely, making Goku revert back to his human form. Or, not human, but back to his base form. Broly does not blame Goku at all for Gohan's death. He actually blames whatever race they're from for not teaching Goku or him how to control their abilities. So yeah. So with this, Goku and Broly bury Gohan. Broly does feel like he should tell Goku. He thinks it's the right thing to do, and he does. Goku immediately felt bad, but Broly says, "Don't blame yourself. Blame our race for not teaching us how to control the abilities before we arrived here. Or at least blame for not removing our tails. Or for removing your tail, at least. They removed mine, or my dad did. My dad removed mine, but yeah. So with this, Goku and Broly are on their own for a few more years. And this one, Broly's roughly around 5 years older than Goku is, so when Goku's 11, Broly is same age as Bulma, actually. So Goku, Broly, and Bulma are roughly the same age. Bulma or him, maybe a few months older than the other. Who knows? I don't care about months right now. But yeah. So with this, Goku and Broly, well, Broly happened to be, well, actually getting a few berries for his for his brother. And, well, Goku and Broly been in the city a few times, because Broly needs things to cook in. Goku as a great ape kind of destroyed their house. Well, their battle destroyed the house, but, yeah. Goku, well, had gotten their stuff. Well, Broly gets their stuff. Eventually, he returned with the berries, as he returned Bulma in a car as well. With this, Broly and Bulma began talking about Goku and everything, and eventually, well, Broly actually talked about the 4-star ball and what importance that's to them. But if she lets them come on the adventure with her, well, they'll gladly give the Dragon Ball over to her. And she agrees to this, saying that they seem pretty strong. As, well, Broly himself is roughly around 9,000 or so. It's probably not 9,000, probably like 5,000 or so. And Goku's a bit behind him at 3,000. So, yeah. So, they can speedrun Dragon Ball without it being much of a struggle for them. Especially King Piccolo, where Goku's soul kind of jumped through his chest, and then he spat out an egg. Because Broly's so big, Broly kind of reached up grabbing the egg immediately. He thinks of crushing it till Piccolo intervened, talking about what the egg would do, and how they're going to seal it away. But Broly and Goku both agree that was a bad idea, and they convince Piccolo to actually raise the egg. With them on the lookout, so they're both going to train up there on the lookout. Other than that, the series isn't really notable, because that's the only different thing that happened is just, well, first Broly killed Tao, but that's about it. But yeah, Goku, Broly, and Piccolo are trained on the lookout for 3 years. Well, now when they emerge, Piccolo is one of their allies, and Piccolo has a power level of roughly around 700 or so. Goku and Broly are both individually around, I would say, like, well, they did go in the time chamber, but they only spent like a total of like maybe 5 months in there. So yeah, they spent like sort of like just 5 minutes in there. Well, not 5 minutes, 5 months in there. So yeah. Goku and Broly are both roughly around 11,000 at this point. So yeah. So the tournament will go on, and Goku actually seems to be a bit above Broly. As Broly needed more or less meditation and complete calm over his body, as he's kind of, how do I say this? He's not angry, but his power is being blocked by something, which is honestly just his deep-seated rage. So yeah, he's very angry, but he controls the rage deep down. But then Broly's also easily agitated, so it's hard to control it at times. And with this, well, eventually it does go on. It's just a tournament happening, where Broly was taught a bit of meditation and spiritual control. Like Kami is cloning, or I assume he does, because Piccolo might, or not cloning, size control. I assume Kami might have that. He's able to teach Broly a bit of spirit control, which does come down Broly a decent amount. Well, then Goku's taught a bit of technique to actually get a small advantage over Broly in fighting. In the tournament, Goku actually able to fight with Broly, but like usual, he's always lost to Broly. But this time, he ends it in a double knockout. So yeah. So with the double knockout happening, Broly's kind of shocked that Goku finally beat him, or compared to him. But still, he's happy that his brother caught up. And with this, we go on to just now Z, where Goku married Chi-Chi, still his intelligence didn't change at all. So he has his son Gohan, and Broly lives with him and Chi-Chi at Mount Paozu. He's been sneaking off recently to see a launch, so there may be something going on there. So yeah. Now with this, we go on to probably say like just Raditz arriving, but with Goku and Broly both living at Mount Paozu, and also like training. Well, Goku doesn't need to leave to train with the Z Fighters. The Z Fighters actually come to Mount Paozu to train, or they had a Kami to train. So yeah. But currently, Goku and Broly are both together, roughly around 22,000. Then we have Z Fighters, who are all around, I would say, between the range of 1,500 and the range of 3,000. So yeah, Tien's the strongest at 3,000 exactly. Then from the weakest one happens to be Chaozu at 1,000 exactly. So yeah. But when it arrives, he finds the lowest probable that are gathered in the area, being around 200 or so, being Gohan. Gohan has a little bit of training that Broly gave him spirit control, on actually recommending it to Chi-Chi. But yeah. So now with this, eventually it does go on. I'd probably say just Goku and Broly going to kind of just they look up, sensing the power level. Also, Piccolo's an exception for the humans. He's roughly around, I would say, 9,000 to 10,000 himself. Yeah, so Raditz arrives at the place, and one is wondering who Kakarot is, and no, not who, where he is. And he's asking him that he's his brother. But Goku says no, his only brother is Broly. He points over to him. Raditz says, Kakarot, are you serious? This no-name Saiyan is your brother. So Goku says, no, his name's Broly. Or Broly remembers his name is Broly, but he was given the name Goten by Gohan. But Broly eventually was like when he's old enough to actually remember a few more things, he says his name is actually Broly. He went by that not long before Gohan died. But yeah. But I didn't like calling Broly Goten. So yeah. Yeah, so he was like, no, Broly's my only brother. Someone as evil as you can't be him. Raditz immediately had to punch Goku in the face. Only had the punch, kind of just tanked by Goku. Then Raditz's punch right in the stomach, full force, and he sent flying. So yeah. Now Raditz hit the water, gonna be bouncing off of it till caught in the air again, flying towards Goku at top speeds, then faking out, going for Gohan. Only for Roshi to intervene and punch Raditz in the face in his buff form. As Roshi ended up well buffed up, grew to 1,200. And that kind of sends Raditz flying away again. Raditz isn't really two-faced with his punch, but it was still pretty strong. Raditz has an obvious broken nose, and as he fixes it, he's fighting against Roshi. As he fights, eventually Roshi kind of will beat Raditz a bit, because he actually has technique over Raditz, and also doesn't know the tail's weakness. So, yeah. Eventually he's able to tear Raditz's tail off, but then go with Fist from Yamcha, along with, everyone comes use, one come and attack on Raditz, and that kills him. But using his last breaths, he kind of just dies. But you find the scouter there, and they hear a voice coming from it as Bulma puts it on, and talks about the two Saiyans coming there in a year. And, there's not really much need to head to King Kai's planet, but King Kai would want them there, just honestly as a prep for Great Apes. So, yeah. Now, this Kami is able to convince King Yama of this. Kimi's like, no, they're already stronger than Vegeta and Nappa. And some Kami's like, but they have Great Apes, which is as you said, a 10 times multiplier. Goku and Broly won't stand a chance. They don't have tails anymore. Best they have Gohan, and Gohan can't even compare to probably the Nappa guy in his Great Ape form. This just annoys King Yama. He says, "Fine, Kami, get out of my hair." They both can go to King Kai. So yeah, Kami then brings Goku and Broly both down to the afterlife or over underworld, and Goku and Broly both run Snake Way. But they do so in an hour or so. So yeah. Now they have 12 months and 31 days. So, yep. Or 30 days and 23 hours. But yeah, so with this, Goku and Broly train under King Kai for a full 12 months. So, yeah. So then Goku and Broly come back. They're both individually roughly around 635,000. So yeah. Training with two Saiyans training together, plus some of them actually, they get injured with each other, and this doesn't lead to healing being needed. So, then guys training, and, Kaioken training alongside Spirit Bomb training. So Broly unlocks a new power. He couldn't really unlock Spirit Bomb, doesn't know why, as he's pure-hearted, but his rage is kind of clouding his abilities. Instead, he decides to start a Master Kaioken, which leads him to discovering Akari. So Broly's trump card is Akari. So, yeah. Akari infused Super Saiyan, but, yeah. Not Akari infused Kaioken. Goku and Broly emerge, right as Vegeta and Nappa arrive, but they're in a watch for a bit. As Piccolo was already around 10,000 when Raditz arrived, but now he's been training Gohan, as he's already an ally. He's been established as that for nearly 6 years. So, yeah. So if this, Chi-Chi does allow Piccolo to train Gohan. Piccolo says all these fighters will be training together, and Gohan is relatively pretty strong for his age, so we'll be training him too. Even Chi-Chi says no, Piccolo is just going to pick him up and throw him to Kami. So, yeah. If she says no, he won't train Gohan. He'll bring him to Kami, but still, yeah. So yeah, now with this, well, when Broly came back, Launch was a bit cold towards him, or mainly blue-haired Launch was, but yellow-haired Launch didn't really care too much. Yeah. Now with this, we go on to like basically just I would probably say Goku and Broly. As I watch, well, Piccolo himself is now around equal to Vegeta or so. Like in base form, he's equal to Vegeta. Then Gohan is around Nappa level, and all the other Z fighters besides Gohan are equal to Nappa. No, not besides Gohan. They're all above Nappa. They're all in the range of 9,000 to 12,000. Piccolo's 18,000. Then Gohan is 4,000. Yeah. So when the Z fighters just walk like straight past Nappa, they mean tell Vegeta he should go into Great Ape so he doesn't die. Mimi tells Nappa to deal with these weaklings, only for Gohan kicking Nappa in the side, sending him flying through the stone formation. So Gohan says, "Your opponent's me, you big oaf." As then immediately, when Nappa sends out 7 minute Gohan, but Gohan charges up one Kamehameha and erase them from existence. As this didn't really do a dent in Gohan's ki whatsoever. Vegeta smirks, saying, "Nappa, never mind that. Handle the child, he's annoying me." With this, Nappa and Gohan begin fighting. Then Vegeta would go Great Ape, as he just sent with a false moon, goes to Great Ape, and he fights everyone there. As well, Piccolo like wondering why they wanted him to go all out. But as a group, they're actually decently pressing Great Vegeta as they grab into his tail and being like kind of shooting ki blast into it. So yeah. But when they're done, eventually Piccolo flew, grabbing Piccolo by the face and threw him, grabbing Vegeta by the face, throwing him to the ground. Along with that, Piccolo used one combined blast. Tien Krillin used one combined blast. Tien and Krillin used a destructive disc, and then Tien would follow up with his own stone blast, and that kind of eradicates the tail completely. With the tail destroyed, usually Goku and Broly land right next to Piccolo, who's standing over Vegeta, as Vegeta just passes out. So yeah. Also, in the Raditz incident, well, no one mentioned Dragon Balls, so there's really no knowledge of Dragon Balls. But yeah. Oh, my bad. So yeah, there's no mention of Dragon Balls, so that doesn't really matter. In the meantime, we go on. I'd probably say just, Vegeta is eventually healed. He's going to get given Senzu Bean because he's not really a threat to the brothers. Hell, he's not really much of a threat to anyone. Immediately he gives Senzu Bean, he would recover, attacking someone immediately on the spot, being Broly. But Broly grabbed his arm, twisting it multiple times over, and they kind of grabbed Vegeta's arm, like his forearm, twisted it one direction, then slammed Vegeta down, and Vegeta's arm broke immediately. Vegeta yelled in pain, holding his arm, and immediately, he's hit right in the face by Goku, being knocked out. Vegeta then woke up in Mount Paozu, being tied up to a giant mountain. Initially asked, why he's tied up, but they kind of actually asked Vegeta if he's being serious about that. Then Vegeta kind of just scoffs, saying, "Whatever," as he decides, and would end up asking how Broly got here. What says he doesn't know, his last memory was his dad grabbing his tail, knocking him out, bringing him here. Then he thought really hard about something his dad was mad about a few years ago, saying, Damn it, Paris thinks his son Broly special, and he's able to get him out of here without my consent. Find Broly and kill him." And Vegeta thought hard, saying, "So you're that Broly, are you? Aren't you?" What says, "What do you mean, that Broly?" Vegeta mentions how Broly's father had sent Broly away because the king deemed Broly too much of a threat to the security of the planet, so he's going to have Broly killed or exiled. But then King Imperius sent him here instead, where there were a few searches, but none of them got to Earth. As Earth isn't really in Frieza Force jurisdiction, it's in Galactic Patrol jurisdiction. We asked about Kakarot, and, well, not isolation, he probably wouldn't, who cares. But yeah. We can probably go on to like a year and a half or so passing, because Frieza would be looking for Vegeta, then Earth would probably be a spot, and Vegeta kind of gave that away. But they all train on Earth for a bit. Goku and Broly were already relatively strong. Then they have Piccolo and other humans as well. Bulma Vegeta mentioned gravity, and then Bulma thought of Gravity Chamber, and after a year and a half, she built one. And most of you fighters are able to go in there and train with how big it is, so, yeah. By the time the year and a half is up, Goku's already Super Saiyan. Broly for some reason can't go Super Saiyan yet. He doesn't know why, but he can't. Goku and Vegeta are Super Saiyans, and Broly just has a Kari and a lot of Kaioken. So yeah, Broly having a lot more ki and a lot higher durability than the other two Saiyans. Kaioken doesn't really phase him for a long time. It takes at least times 30 to make Broly get a bit nervous on his power. And times 50 is a bit of a deal breaker, but that's where he's nearing Super Saiyan levels of power. So he can at least contend Super Saiyan. Goku and Broly, Goku and Vegeta are both roughly around between the Vegeta around 4 million, Goku around 5 million. Broly himself is around 5 million as well. So yeah. But with this we go on, I'd probably say just Frieza Force arriving and descending upon where Vegeta's pod is. As Vegeta tried to call his pod, but Broly kind of grabbed it out of thin air and just kind of threw it into the ground so hard that it was broken, but it wasn't like completely destroyed. But it's kind of like it's not capable of flight anymore. Is the best way to say it. So when Frieza Force on the pod, immediately they're all a bit suspicious until they see Krillin, Tien, and Piccolo. Zarbon would appear from the Piccolo asking about two Saiyans, being Kakarot and Vegeta. But Broly's not Broly. Piccolo says, I don't really care about Saiyans. Get the hell off my planet. And then Zarbon went to slap him for disrespect, only for Zarbon to punch him in the gut so hard that he thought he threw up. Only to look down, seeing that was blood coming from his mouth, and Piccolo punched a hole clean through his gut. Piccolo smirked, whispering in his ear, saying, You should have took the option to leave my planet. Piccolo lifted his arm up, tearing clean through Zarbon, tearing him nearly in half. Let Zarbon hit the ground dead. Then Piccolo ends up yelling, especially from cannon, charging up in a split second, and firing it off, as it shoots straight through Frieza's pod, hitting him in the shoulder. Frieza yells in pain, jumping back, wondering how this hurt. Piccolo surely isn't that strong. The scatter picked up he was strong, but around 70,000 at the most. No, Piccolo's suppressed. His full power, 300,000. Getting close enough to Frieza actually will hurt him. Not go through him, but gonna burn Frieza pretty badly. But immediately, from above, Tien smacks in the back of Frieza's head, sending him flying down to the ground through his pod. Not pod, but through his floating thing. Then Tien grabbed it, slinging it at all Frieza Force, then throwing it in the air, firing multiple kills at it until it exploded, killing a few other Frieza Force members. When all the humans arrive, completely decimating them. Kind of resembles the battle of Dragon Ball Super, but Gohan is there as an actually competent fighter. But then as Frieza is about to attack Piccolo, well, his punch is stopped by actually base Vegeta. Vegeta then smirks, saying, Frieza, your opponent's me. And then reaches to the ground. Doria would then go in to attack Vegeta, only for someone to pick him up and put him in a chokehold. And see Roshi saying, Come on, Sonny, your fight's with me. And throws him into the crowd of Frieza Force soldiers, and base Roshi and Doria begin clashing, throwing hands. But one thing that Doria has on Roshi is physical strength, and that's literally it. That's about it. But the enemy force would suddenly arrive, as Frieza had called them when he's entering the atmosphere, as they picked up a few strong power levels, roughly around 70,000 or so. So, yeah. When the enemy force arrive, well, the most Frieza force has already been defeated by the humans and Piccolo. But then Ginyu would emerge, ready for combat. Then, Piccolo seeing how strong Ginyu is, began fighting with him, and Ginyu immediately wanted to swap bodies with him. Vegeta, before Ginyu can do anything, jumped away from Frieza, kicking the jaw at Ginyu full force, kicking it right off, which actually shocked everyone. Vegeta then says, Ginyu, you're really too pesky to mind with right now. No, I don't feel like fixing it. He then used another blow to completely blow apart Ginyu's body. Then back to Frieza. As Goku and Broly kind of just watching this happen, they're kind of just sitting down eating, watching this. Then eventually, Frieza will just keep the battle with Vegeta, and fly off as fast as possible, and as far as possible. So yeah. So eventually Frieza had gotten far enough, pressing a button on what seems like a watch. This button, his father would actually pick up a call, it seems like, saying, Frieza, what are you calling me? Frieza says, Father, Vegeta, he's some sort of legendary Super Saiyan. He's beating me. The whole Frieza Force is dying. Even the Ginyu Force are dead. King Cold says, hold off for at least one day, Frieza. That Frieza had said he'll try, as he flew off even farther, kind of just running around playing games. Eventually, the point where he started blowing up random cities as he went through the chaos, just as he caused enough smoke to daze Vegeta. Eventually, Goku got sick of this and began fighting Frieza alongside Vegeta, but Goku's in his base form still. Yes, Frieza is in his final form while Vegeta's in Super Saiyan. Even Broly joined in. But, well, eventually we go on to, well, Frieza almost dying at some point. As they had enough games being played. They were just sick of games. And no one's about to kill him. Suddenly a sword would crash down, slashing their backs. This King Cold would appear, and then he's on a form holding a sword, saying, "See what someone did this to my son." Goku's holding his back, jumping away. Then, as soon as King Cold went towards Frieza, a blast comes from Vegeta, turning Frieza to complete dust. And annihilating King Cold's hand, King Cold would jump away yelling in pain. Only for Broly to appear in front of King Cold, saying, "Sorry, but if you're like anything like Frieza, you're gonna be a pest." Broly then yelled Kaioken times 40, then used Sakari at the same time, punching a hole through King Cold's chest, killing him. So with this, King Cold's dead. Bingo. Now, this kind of ends the whole Frieza arc, and Goku ends up getting healed, but he has a giant scar on his back from just the slash. Well, it wasn't a deep slash, but it was a giant scar. So, now with this, we can go on to, I'd probably say, just Goku and, well, Vegeta and Broly staying relatively safe until, well, around, like, 6 months passes. They find Trunks, they sense his key, they arrive. They end up talking to Trunks, and Trunks warns Goku and Broly about the heart virus. Kind of mainly Goku. Broly ended up dying in battle somehow, so Broly, being very careful for his brother, actually told Goku to take the heart virus medicine over and over again. But then, well, when it came to the battle, Broly already knew that Goku didn't take it, so he brought it with him. And as soon as Goku is about to, as soon as Goku started showing symptoms of being sick from heart virus and not passing out yet, Broly immediately took out medicine, shoving it around in Goku's mouth, and then punched him in the gut, knocking him out. He immediately told Gohan to bring Goku back somewhere far away so he can actually recover. Goku never passes out, but he's pretty tired. He's knocked out by Broly, but he woke up not long after. Broly and him are relatively equal, so, yeah. But both this, Goku would eventually wake up around like 30 minutes or so later, and he's fully healed again. The androids, well, they're a lot stronger than canon. Only one that wouldn't be stronger is, well, actually I can see Cell being stronger actually, because Trunks doesn't know who Broly is in this one. So with this, Goku arrives in Broly and fighting 18, and 18 seems to be flirting with Broly in the middle of combat. So there's just something that happened. The launch began getting a bit cold towards Broly, as Broly was gone for a whole year without telling her. Krillin was the one left to console her, and Launcher, obviously has a bit of a crush on Krillin, and Krillin does know this. This does get him a bit flustered. She's the one that had to comfort her, but yeah. So in this one, Krillin's more or less dating Launch before he even meets 18. And 18's in the middle fight, flirting with Broly, thinking he was really strong. And one remark that she made Broly immediately pause in the middle of combat, as everyone had heard it, but they couldn't pay any mind to it. When they realized how experienced with women Broly really is. Launch is the only woman he had, and Launch was a bit more, cutesy. And Blue Launch was the one that mainly flirted with Broly, while then Yellowhead Launch made a few, Yellow Launch was more of a tsundere, not anything direct. Blue Launch was a bit more flirty with Broly. So this remark made Broly immediately just blush, beat red, and nearly faint. She basically said, with you being such a big guy, can you imagine something else down there is big? And she knew this would stumble Broly. As soon as Broly froze, 18 went in for a blow that wouldn't be fatal, but it sent Broly to the ground. It would knock him out of Akari and Kaioken, so to say. But as soon as he went the blow, Goku punched her in the gut in Super Saiyan, sending her flying straight into 17 into the ground. Then immediately, Goku ended up yelling Kamehameha, firing it straight down at 18 and 17. The other both push the blast back and blow it straight towards Goku. He was able to tank the blow though, and Broly got back up thanking Goku for the save. But eventually, it goes on to everyone still summing up again and easily defeating the androids now. The androids defeated. Well, they're not really dead. Broly doesn't want to kill any of them right now. As they seem to be a bit more humane than anyone else, but also 16 was actually had its arms and legs torn off by Broly for wanting to kill Kakarot. So Broly ends up carrying and knocked out 18 and a very dismembered 16. Then Goku kind of just carries away 17. 16 is dismembered, 18 is knocked out, then 17 is also knocked out. Broly has an idea to repair 16, and then we'll modify 17 and 18. And Bulma does just that. First it takes Dragon Balls. As no one really died. Well, few people did, but the Z Fighters came on the scene a lot quicker. Also, Dragon Balls can be recovered a lot quicker as well. So, they can be recovered in like a year, and the humans can be brought back. Or Kami can just train them to enhance Dragon Balls. Or they can just use Neki and Dragon Balls. They have a few alternatives. They haven't been dynamic yet, but they've heard about them, so, yeah. So with this, these Dragon Balls actually will cleanse the androids' minds of any impure thoughts towards the Z Fighters, or any evil thoughts towards the Z Fighters. And since 18 doesn't really hate the Z Fighters anymore, her one thought is, finger insert hole with Broly. So yeah. When she woke up, her and Broly began talking a bit, and then that talking led to intimate touching. And then 18 plus touching, and then 18 plus movie insertion. So, yeah. That's not how the whole thing with 18 went with Broly. Then 17's kind of just chill now, and Bulma offers him a job at Capsule Corp. He declines, saying Capsule Corp isn't really his speed, he's gonna go somewhere else, which leads to him going to the island. But he's still in pretty good contact with the Z Fighters, mainly 18 and Broly. Then Bulma re-engineers 16, and then immediately, not long after, like a few days later, we see Cell arrive, like a day later. Cell arrives, but 17, 18 were already re-engineered, and they're kind of doing their own thing right now. And Cell to find 18, only to find her kind of in a field in Mount Pauzu with Broly, and they're both missing a lot of things. So he says, "Sister, what the devil are you doing with that human? Or not with that Saiyan? He should be dead by now." "Oh well, I'll kill him myself." Broly flew down towards 18 to absorb her, only to have his head grabbed, and he's thrown straight to the city. Broly immediately put on his gi, getting ready for more fighting. 18 can smirk at Broly, saying she's glad she was right, as she powers up herself, put on her clothes, flying with Broly, straight towards Cell. As both these combined efforts, they're easily able to defeat Cell before he absorbs anyone. As 18 is honestly, being protected by Broly pretty well. Broly's making sure that nothing gets near 18. So, yeah. Especially the tail that almost stabbed her the first time. So, yeah. Plus, this guy is calling her sister, and he doesn't really like it. But eventually, Cell's grabbed by Broly, as Broly holds him in place, even with Cell stabbing him, trying to absorb his ki. Broly immediately began powering up, firing a ki blast straight at Cell's head, completely destroying it. As 18 fired ki blast at Broly, he used Broly using Kari and Kaioken in tandem at max power, and Broly can tank the majority of the blast that 18's firing. With this, it completely just destroys Cell Cell's dead completely. Broly ends up fainting with how much ki he's been using to hold up his durability, use Kaioken, use Kari, everything. 18 picks up Broly, and they all arrive when it happened, but she talks about Cell and what he did, but Cell's dead. Not long after, Trunks would arrive, and wonder why the android is still alive as he went to kill 18, only for Broly to wake up, grabbing the sword, saying, "We use Dragon Balls to make them, good." Or say, good, we say that. There's one threat being Cell, why wouldn't you tell us about him? And Trunks says, "What the hell's a cell? Like that, like things in your body?" Broly says, "So, Cell was from your timeline, but he wasn't a threat, so..." He even thought hard, saying, "Your androids must have been so much different to the point he came for ours instead." Trunks says, "Yeah, I can imagine that." Okay, cool. Plus, there's that they thinking, yeah, never mind that. But Trunks stays behind here to train with the androids for a bit, just to get accustomed to some of their techniques and abilities. They're gladly helping him, especially because Broly does like Trunks and 18. 18's okay with this. So yeah. So now with this, we go on. I'd probably say just initially Trunks going back to his own timeline, learn all the androids' abilities, the weaknesses of the androids, basically everything about them in and out. Especially that he's fought stronger android, so he knows how to exploit the weaknesses in a much better way. This he easily kills the androids without even getting hit once, and he's still in his base form, which shocks his mother. But everyone kind of asks Trunks how he did that, but he explains, instead of passing on what they did, they used Dragon Balls to make the androids good. And those androids were actually decently okay fighters, even stronger a bit. As Broly is actually banging one of the androids now, so, yeah. Bulma ends up laughing at this, saying, "Yeah, when after launch, Broly was kind of lonely in bed, so she can imagine this." So yeah. Now as we go on to roughly a few years passing into the Buu saga, Broly finally achieved Super Saiyan, but it was too destructive to the point where Broly refused to use it. Broly instead of being strengthening his base form constantly with 18 by his side, even 17. Because Broly also wanted them on his own, but also like not like alone, but also like far away so he can train his power to its limit. So with this, they moved to the island. They moved relatively to where 17 was. 17 was dating some supermodel. So yeah. So yeah. Pause real quick. Like, well, Broly and 18 both have a kid, and well, Broly wanted to say a name that's kind of cute at the same time, like very Earth-like, but very Saiyan-like at the same time. Honestly, just because well, he thought that'd be kind of fun. He never knew his culture and doesn't really have a chance to right now. His kid can get the chance through the Dragon Balls, through Vegeta. Vegeta's more interested in sparring with Broly and not interested in talking about Saiyan history. So with this, well, Ichiban agrees, and they have a daughter named Wasa, and kind of like after Wasabi, but also 18 thought was cute. And Wasa's favorite food happens to be wasabi, so it worked out. So the tournament, they all reunite with Broly and 18 showing off their daughter Wasa, Goku showing Chi showing off Goten, and Bulma and Vegeta showing off Trunks. So yeah, Trunks and Goten are both told that Broly is their uncle, and then Wasa is told that everyone here is her uncle or aunt. So yeah. They immediately Wasa asks about Piccolo, asking about him. He says he doesn't seem to be human or Saiyan. And that's when like Broly's like, he's a Mechian, but he's a good guy. Me and Dad gonna help raise him. Immediately she says, "So like my brother?" Piccolo thought hard about this, saying, "Gohan's more my brother. Cousin, think of that." And Wasa nodded. Because Gohan is kind of more Piccolo's brother, because Piccolo trained with Broly and Goku a lot, so, yeah. Now this is the tournament. It goes on relatively easily. This Goku in the base form is roughly around 30 million, that's too low. Around 80 or so million, probably even a lot higher than that, roughly. He's not as strong as he is in like the Beerus saga, even stronger than that actually. He's nearing 100 million in base form. Broly's already around that, 130 million in base form, but Super Saiyan is something he doesn't use. Then Vegeta is very similar to Goku in base form as well. Also, Gohan, due to him having a training, picking up a lot more. Plus, actually, Gohan's one that visits Broly the most because where Broly lives, it can be very educational. Even bring Goten there occasionally. Probably not Goten, probably just Gohan and Videl go there sometimes. So Gohan's like the one keeping up Broly the most. It's Goku and Vegeta are kind of stuck in training, but they call Broly a lot. They call him a lot. So Gohan doesn't train as often, but he still trains a lot. So yeah, Gohan's still pretty strong. But Goku and Vegeta and Gohan all Super Saiyan 2. Broly's just base form, just about as strong as their Super Saiyan forms. So yeah. Broly wants to make sure that at least his base form can handle their Super Saiyan, and it does. So yeah. But then Shin will basically realize how strong everyone here is, and then his god body can't really hold anyone here in place. But then when he tries to, for the first time, well, they immediately break out of it with the help of more or less their just raw power, and Yamu is immediately grabbed. You grab Broly, it's trying to learn Broly's key first. As Broly's fight is against 17 actually. 17 didn't bring his kids here, so yeah. 17 grabbed Yamu's arm, pulling it a certain way, and eventually had torn off Yamu's whole arm. Then when he left, he killed Yamu. So yeah, Yamu's dead. Spopovich tried to grab the container, only for Broly to stomp on it. And yeah, Spopovich tried to jump on Broly, but he can't move Broly a single centimeter. Only for Broly to pick him up, bear hug him as hard as he can, and everyone had heard Spopovich's spine be completely destroyed. Broly then dropped him, and Spopovich on the ground, unable to move. And Shin is wondering what kind of monsters are this strong. But then eventually he decides to actually tell them once the match is over what's going on, and immediately tells them why he tried to hold them in place and what that force was. They nod as they then consensus where Babidi and Buu are. They find them, and well, immediately Broly shoots a bit of his key in Boo's egg. Immediately, Buu is ready to hatch, which made Shin a bit annoyed that Broly did that, as they plan to steal the egg, nothing more. No, they want to fight Buu. So yeah. So this, as they fight Buu, eventually does lead on to Super Buu emerging. And Super Buu's first thing that he does is honestly absorb the humans. Well, first Dabra was also a threat, but Dabra was easily destroyed. Like 17 just appeared from Dabra, tearing off Dabra's head. That was just what he did. Just appeared in front of him, tore off his head. So that's all he did. So Dabra's dead. The first move of Super Buu was to absorb most of the humans, being Tien, Krillin, and that's about it. But then Piccolo began fighting him, and Piccolo's not really doing too good. He's losing. Also, just curious about the kids. They're all staying back at the tournament to win the junior division. But in 1817, and everyone was running against Super Buu to help Piccolo. But then from behind, Super Buu had grabbed 17, absorbing him, and then absorbing 18. And Broly lost it. Broly even roared going Super Saiyan for the first time, and well, not for the first time, but a lot of people have seen Broly Super Saiyan for the first time. And this Super Saiyan is a lot more chaotic, as Super Buu cannot escape from chaotic Broly. Because Broly's power shaking Earth, Goku and Vegeta shooting Super Saiyan 2, then buff up to hold Broly down. When squeezing Broly, Super Buu tried to absorb them all at once. Goku let out one Ki Blast from one hand, completely engulfing Super Buu, sending him flying away. But eventually Broly's went chokehold by Goku, and Broly's able to somewhat escape from this, only to get punched right in the groin by Vegeta. Not only Broly's body would clench up, and then he just choked out by Goku. Goku and Vegeta then slow him down a bit, and essentially tell Vegeta to get Broly somewhere safe, so that he's not absorbed. And Shin and Vegeta don't need to be told twice. They don't want to be near the battle. Shin and Vegeta pick up Broly together, then Kai away to their original location. Leave Broly there, then disappear again. They're also going to watch battle from the sky, as Goku and Vegeta are able to somewhat handle Super Buu together. Gohan's also there, but yeah. But eventually Broly had woken up and wandered in the area. But eventually he found the Z-Sword and swung it around a bit until they accidentally broke it. Broly released Elder Kai. Elder Kai began talking to Broly about everything. Now Broly has no interest in this, but he immediately began yelling for help. Shin and Vegeta had sensed that Broly woke up, and they found the Elder Kai there with the Z-Sword broken in half. Then Shin remembers that Elder Kai was healed by the Z-Sword, and that he didn't think the Z-Sword was breakable, so yeah. Then Broly suggested bring Gohan here to have the ritual performed on him. But Elder Kai's like, it could take days, or it could take a day, or even longer than that. Or anything really hard, saying, can you age any how fast do you age? Shin says, I'm like 100 years old. It was good, that'll work. There's a spirit of time up there, have Kami bring you in there. Kami would basically all nod. Shin would here down next to Gohan with Broly. He interrupts Gohan, disappearing, and Broly joins in the fight against Super Buu. With this, Gohan across the room of spirit and time with Elder Kai already there, waiting for him, and Elder Kai began performing the ritual. Only after 5 seconds, the ritual's already done. So after a minute, Elder Kai tells him open door. The door's opened, and we see Ultimate Gohan. Ultimate Gohan returns from the battlefield, and immediately as he's supposed to be arrogant, he's punched in the face by Broly, as he's kind of rolling across the ground as he's told not to be arrogant. And no one here is worth being Majin. Broly was for a bit, but Elder Kai ended up missing his shot. Well, not Elder Kai. Bobby missed a shot because he was choked out that quickly. Broly was too quickly subdued to become Majin, because Broly's also fighting it off. So no one here can become Majin. That's about it. Yeah. So Ultimate Gohan, slightly enraged Broly, Goku and Vegeta combined, they defeat Super Buu pretty easily, which does turn into Kid Buu at some point. But in Super Saiyan Broly, it would emerge again, but under decent control of himself now. So, with Broly having control of himself now, we'll count out Super Saiyan, Broly, Goku, Vegeta, Ultimate Gohan. They all use one combined attack, as Vegeta would use Final Flash. Then Broly, Erase Cannon, Goku and Gohan, Kamehameha. So yeah. So, the attack that they use is kind of like the final erasing Kamehameha wave. The attack would hit Kid Buu, and immediately erase him from existence. So yeah. Kid Buu's whole body, it is burned away. Even the atoms are burned away in this attack. The group all shares a collective high five, and the Z Fighters all arrive, wondering what happened. As Kami uses Dragon Balls to revive the Z Fighters that were killed inside Super Buu, or kind of forgot most of the Buu saga. To be honest with you, I don't care what happened. Honestly, either way. But yeah, so if anyone died in Super Buu, they died, but they're brought back, or they're honestly spat out and were knocked out for a bit. But the Saiyans won, so that's all that's important. And now Gohan says on actually training with Broly to train, until Videl would approach Gohan, and, well, a few things start happening. But Videl wants to train Gohan still, so yeah. And Gohan is interested in getting a job until 17 talks about jobs working with animals that do require high education. Gohan thought this was amazing, and immediately got a job. The job was like an animal studier, or someone to study animals, and the animals on Hunting's Island were perfect. It was also a good excuse to train, a compromise. So yeah. But Broly, 17, 18, Videl, they're all sparring partners with each other. Videl even learns fusion at some point, to actually fuse with 18 at some points, being Vizuli. And Vizuli just, well, yeah. But everyone wants to see the Beerus arc. And Beerus, well, he's shocked to see everyone here so strong. Especially Broly, who has full control over his Berserker Saiyan modes now. It's ultimately Gohan is able to somewhat compare to Broly either way. Goku's Super Saiyan 3 now, and so does Vegeta, just so that Vegeta only learned it to scale to Broly now. That's about it. So yeah, Super Saiyan 3, Goku and Vegeta, who are completely mastering over Super Saiyan 3, plus they have fusion. And, well, Broly is still a pretty big threat, but so it doesn't really matter at this point. But we can go on to, I'd probably say, just Goku and everyone here. We can probably go on to just Beerus wanting Super Saiyan God. But there's Goku, Broly, Vegeta, Gohan, who else? Wasa, Goten, Trunks. Yes, there's 7 Saiyans here, so yeah. So like, when they thought about the future, like we've had 5 for so long. One of us could have been a god already. Hell, all of us could have been gods. And Jay was like, I've heard of Legend of Super Saiyan, but not like Super Saiyan God. I feel stupid now. But they do try to perform it on Broly, but we immediately told them no. With how stable Broly is, the Broly's key is, it would either work, but he'd turn only against all of them, which would lead or result in all their death. And even Beerus would be a bit pressed by Broly's Super Saiyan God mode. Then he's something like Goku or Vegeta, maybe even Gohan. So they perform the ritual on Goku, and the fight against Beerus goes for normal, but Beerus is a bit more impressed with Goku's power. So yeah, this is Goku's base. It's now roughly around 130 million or so, probably a bit higher than that. So yeah. And all Broly wants to do is make sure his base can keep up with Goku Super Saiyan. That's what he wants to do, because he doesn't prefer using Super Saiyan at all. But he still does sometimes. So Broly looks just like this now in Super Saiyan. The quilt, or the robe, whatever you want to call it, around his waist, came from another animal that looked just like Ba, but not as crazy. So yeah. Now with this, Beerus would want to train everyone here. And Whis actually tells Beerus, for a year, well, not for a year, but for a lot of training for a bit, for like the first bit of training, Beerus had to train all the Saiyans, but Broly will be training with Whis somewhere else. Mainly, Broly actually asks if Goku or Gohan can come with him, as he prefers one of them being with him if he's going to do different kind of training. Because, well, they're usually his rivals, and he prefers it that way. Hell, at least give him a 17 to come with him. Whis understands this and would nod, and, well, he actually does something better. He brings Goku and 17 with him. With this, they all 3 appear on Yardrat. Well, 4 counting Whis. They appear on Yardrat and tells them about spirit control and how it works. Once they all master spirit control, then they'll begin God training. They nod. They've been learning and mastering spirit control here, and they do so. They do it pretty easily. After this, well, Whis was on Earth with Bulma, told about Piccolo, and Piccolo talked about Namekian abilities, as he had studied Namek for a bit. And then Whis went to Yardrat, bringing them to Namek, so that have them finish their spirit control abilities there. After this, Goku and Broly. Well, first, Broly has full control of Super Saiyan 1, 2, and 3, and it's pretty chaotic, but still he has full control over it. Which shocks everyone. So yeah. And with this, eventually it also goes on to, I would probably say, Goku and, all of them heading on to maybe, now God training. But with these 3 spending a lot of their time actually learning spirit control and mastering it, they didn't really learn Super Saiyan God or anything. Like, Gohan and Vegeta learned Super Saiyan God, but Goku and Broly didn't. So yeah. Even Goten has met Beerus once on his planet. So yeah. Like, all Saiyans have at least trained Beerus for at least like a few weeks or so. And Beerus got accustomed to being a teacher. He liked the term Jay-Sensei. So yeah, it fit his ego. feeding Beerus' ego works. Feeding his stomach and his ego works, especially in tandem. But yeah, and when Frieza emerged, well, so sadly, a base form Goku handles literally every form of Frieza until it gets to his golden form, where it pushes Goku to Super Saiyan 2. That's all it does. So Goku honestly emerged, whooping Frieza in his base form the whole time, until Super Saiyan 2, where he killed him in Golden Frieza. That's how strong Goku is. So yeah, it was literally just a Goku who's currently visiting Gotenks. Or Goten, who's currently in Gotenks, but yeah. And Wasa was also there wondering about 17 and Broly. But 18 just ensures that Broly's fine. Goku brought Wasa to see Broly, but they hang out for a bit. 18 was with her as well. But now we then go into the Universe 6 tournament. Because Trump had seen everyone here training, because Goku and Broly had recently discovered Super Saiyan God. Or Goku discovered Super Saiyan God, and Broly's currently training with the power that Whis has found inside Broly, being Legendary Super Saiyan. So yeah. So as Broly trains with this, well, yeah. So yeah, so Champa still have the Universe 6 tournament, but Goku then actually smirks, saying him, Broly, and Gohan and Vegeta would handle the whole tournament themselves. But then the humans sigh, saying that they've been left out for a lot of conflicts, including Super Buu, where they actually blame themselves for it. They've been training a lot harder with Kami, so on, and kind of everywhere around. Hell, even once Broly and Goku left, 17 and Goku left Yardrat, 17 went back to Earth, then brought them all to Yardrat via Bulma's spaceship. But he knew his way around the area. Hell, even Wasa and Goten and Trunks went to Yardrat. So yeah. Once the humans return, they we can determine ourselves. We're pretty strong. So yeah, the first fight is against like Botamo. No, Botamo. Wait, is it Botamo? I forgot his name. These are fights that I remember, that I can remember. So basically, it's not a Walmart ad. All right. So we're not going to Goku versus Botamo, but that fight is replaced by a human versus Botamo, and the human that I think could fight Botamo with probably my bad. The person that can probably fight Botamo with intelligence. Well, I can see it being like maybe Tien actually. Tien's a pretty smart guy and a pretty tactical fighter. So Tien fights against Botamo and actually wins, but a lot faster than Goku did. He won the same way Goku did, but won it in like the first 2 minutes of the fight, or 2 seconds of the fight probably. Once he demonstrated how his body worked in like the first 2 blows, he wasn't really too shocked and easily won the fight immediately after. Then Frost. Well, Frost is like another Frieza to them, and immediately Gotenks over the challenge. Gotenks fused, or Gotenks fused, Gotenks. Their fusion actually lasts now 2 hours. They smirked, going into the fight, and it's Frost. In the fight, Wasa's kind of observing this scene. Goten and Trunks are slowing down, or Gotenks is slowing down a lot. Now, what this Broly does actually ask his daughter what's wrong, is even 18 and Goku are acknowledging that they're slowing down a lot for some reason. Wasa and Jocko being both looking closer, and, Frost punches. Wasa and Jocko then pipe up saying, "You damn cheater!" Everyone's shocked, Wasa cursing, and then they accuse Frost of cheating. Goten and Trunks immediately just defuse immediately, just so at least one of them has energy, as Trunks is picked up by Goten. With this, they ask what's going on, and immediately Wasa and Jocko both appear, Wasa grabbing Frost's wrist, throwing out the needle. And Jocko immediately says, it's a needle, but yeah, it's a bit genetic, but this is your only poison-based ability. Are you sure the poison is legal? Immediately Frost froze, saying, "Damn it, fine, I cheated. So what? Don't get in my way, it's a fight." He moves it to Jocko and Wasa, only for Super Saiyan and Wasa to punch him in the face, sending him flying halfway across the arena. That Wasa called him a cheater, saying that next time he cheats, he should still tear his arm off so he can fight handicapped. This made everyone freeze that Wasa was that brutal, but she smirked at Broly. And Broly just smiled at her, so yeah. Next fight ends up being basically Hit. Or not Hit, Armageddon. So yeah. No, Vegeta doesn't fight Armageddon. It's actually 18 versus Armageddon. As they fight, well, eventually it leads on to basically 18 discovering that Armageddon is basically almost impenetrable. But then 18 calls him a bucket of bolts, and immediately when she realized how Automata felt, 18 laid into this man with every worst insult in human history. Where Automata just honestly fainted from so much crying. And Broly ended up sighing, saying, I didn't know you were so mean. 18 says, oh, I'm not. He was just getting on my nerves. But now Kappa. Kappa has to fight against Wasa. So, yeah. As they fight, well, they're roughly the same height, but Wasa explains basically just how Super Saiyan works, because Kappa isn't Super Saiyan. Once she explains it, well, Kappa can't really do it till Wasa thinks really hard, and how her dad and her uncles are based off anger. She talks about destroying Kappa's planet, and how she can destroy any planet she wants with ease, especially Kappa himself. Let me be calling weak trash who can never defend a planet, no matter how angry he is. Which would spark Super Saiyan Kappa to emerge. He immediately attacks Wasa, but base Wasa just appears behind him, chopping him back to the neck, knocking him out. She smirks, calling Kappa a really strong guy. Kappa grabs him by his shirt, throwing him into the arena, like his stand. The stand's where his universe is, and yeah. Now Vegeta versus Hit, which wouldn't be a fight, it'd be 17 versus Hit. And with how 17's power he doesn't have a power up, but has mastered spirit control, but also naturally high key levels, this fight is more close than anyone would have thought. So when he uses time skip, he goes for a hit, but 17 can't really move his body, but he can use barriers. So the fight eventually would honestly end in a standstill. But not that like 17's out of key. No, he just can't land a blow on Hit, but Hit is actually out of key now. So the fight ends with 17 being the winner by default. So you can just ward down Hit, leading to them being the winners. So yeah. So with this, Universe 7 lost. Not they won. I'm dumb. Universe 7 being the winner. The wish is to just restore the Earth of Universe 6. Next up would be Goku Black, but there's no Goku Black. Instead, it's 17 Black, because 17 was the most impressive fighter there. But 17 can be easily killed by the Saiyans, so yeah. The one Trunks arrived, and then the moment that like Android the moment that evil Android 17 arrived, or basically or Black Lapis is kind of what he usually says, Black Lapis. Well, immediately what happened is 17 would see this, trap him in a barrier, then Broly appears right in front of him in the barrier, letting out one giant blast that destroys the barrier, but there's not much damage done to the area. But it killed Black Lapis Black, or Black Lapis. And this left the body touches back in time, but Broly says he'll be back. He picks up the body of Lapis or Black Lapis, taking it back to the past. And then here, Beerus Broly is technically isn't illegal at this point if it's a time ring. He's still kind of shaky, but he goes with him. But this immediately is almost questioning why the key disappeared and why there's two new ones, especially two fueled with God Key. Immediately, you saw what happened, seeing Beerus, only to reach up in front of him, grabbing his face, and then yelling Hakai. Well, that's almost just erased from existence. So yeah. There's that, Beerus uses a time ring, going back to the present, taking the ring off, then Hakaiing it. This, Trunks actually asked him if it's over, and then Broly would nod, and immediately Bulma actually gave him directions to Yardrat once he left, or once he's about to leave. Trunks had thanked her. Trunks now has spirit control, and was going to get spirit control. So, yeah. Next up, now probably be the tournament of power, which Goku and Broly wanted to happen. Goku is still dumb, so Broly isn't too dumb, but he thought it'd be exciting. So yeah. In the tournament, the first fight happened to I guess the exhibition match. I'm gonna find the matches real quick. Now the fights basically end up being like this. Well, first fight to replace Buu fighting like Basil is going to be Broly. Or actually, no, I can see it being Goku actually, because big guy versus big guy, Bergamo versus Broly. So yeah. So the fight against Basil. So Basil would use basically like one kick at the ability at Goku. Goku honestly just kicked it back at the Basil, double the power. And Basil's hit by it head on, and that fight ends right then and there. So yeah. Then Gohan versus Lavender. Gohan having actually keeping up with training constantly, and in ultimate form being at its peak power at all times now. Well, Gohan easily beat Lavender without getting hit once. Then Bergamo versus Broly. Broly hit him once in the gut while he's in Super Saiyan. Bergamo did get a lot bigger, he got incredibly big. But he didn't move a single inch. he just honestly fainted on the spot from that one punch. And Sidra instantly froze, realizing that the Saiyans in Universe 7 were incredibly powerful. Suddenly, as Broly turns away, he's grabbed from behind by Toppo, or Toppo tried to grab Broly, only for Gohan, 17, 18. Basically, everyone in the stands appeared behind Broly with Key Blast ready to kill Toppo. And Toppo immediately was shocked that everyone was ready to kill him that quickly. Hell, he didn't know that anyone was this fast. All the fighters they brought are around barely below Toppo, or really high above him. So Toppo's really gonna die either way, or find he's either gonna find his match or he's gonna die. One of the two. That's about it. But initially calls them villains, but Broly felt a bit upset at this, punching Toppo in the face, knocking him out on impact. On Toppo calling Toppo an excuse of an officer of justice. And immediately, this led on to basically like Gohan saying, "You idiots, you're the villains. He's right. Why would you have a Universal Racing tournament?" Goku and Leo saying, "We didn't make the condition. We wanted a tournament. Sure. Universal Racing, that wasn't their choice. What? You send with the Omni King?" And Leo says, "Yeah, he's not wrong. Yeah, you guys have objections." Well, that everyone's to the point of Goku and Broly. And yeah, the tournament was fun idea. Universal Racing, that's Zeno's idea. Once they got that through their skulls, they immediately tell the Pride Troopers and everyone, and they realized that Goku and Broly, they also wanted to have fun in the tournament, not have their universe erased. That wasn't their choice. That was Zeno. So everyone understood now, and Goku and Broly aren't really villains anymore. So yeah. But Goku and Broly do meet with Zeno, asking if they convincing them, but they will tell him, there can be a punishment for the losing universes, but at least don't erase them from existence. And so Zeno nodded, saying, "Sure, that works." So yeah. The punishment will not be named. It doesn't really matter. All you need to know is that's going to be incredibly embarrassing. It's going to be embarrassing for the losers. But yeah. Now the tournament will go on. And the first fight is basically Broly versus Jiren, actually. So Broly appears from the Jiren as they kind of see each other, and they immediately lock eyes as they've been attacking each other, just head on. Now base Broly is actually equal to Jiren in his current form, Base Broly always tries to keep with Super Saiyan 1 or 2 Goku. Not base Goku, no, Super Saiyan 1 or 2 Goku. So Broly's already ahead of Goku by a decent amount. Especially in Super Saiyan 1, 2, and 3, and Legendary Super Saiyan, which we taught him to control recently. Well, in Legendary Super Saiyan, he's always growing in power, constantly. But the fighters of Universe 7. Goku, Broly, or Broly, Goku, Vegeta, or Goku, Broly, Goku, Gohan, Vegeta, who else? Wasa, Gotenks, 17, 18, Piccolo, and Tien. Those are the 10 fighters. But Wasa basically ends up jumping right in front of Kappa with Gotenks by her side, as he is able to smile. 17 appears next to Wasa as Hit will confront them. Immediately, Kale and Khalifa question who Runt is, pointing at Wasa. Kappa says that she's the one that taught him Super Saiyan. Khalifa immediately went for a punch, only to get punched straight halfway across the arena by Wasa, who was just yawning. Kale almost went berserk, only for going to be behind her, throwing her right at Khalifa. Right as Kale entered full berserker form, she landed right on Khalifa. Khalifa just coughs, asking Kale to get off of her. But everyone around her, on Kale and Khalifa, Kale takes her anger out on them. One time, Jiren and Broly are kind of trading blows constantly. Then Broly saw Berserker Kale, which got him attracted, and he's punched in the face, and then he's flying almost out of bounds. But Goku got Broly, as telling him he sees what caught Broly's attention, go help her. He even nods, saying her and Goku can hold off Jiren until Broly wants to fight again. So yeah. That Goku yelling, going into basically Akari himself, as he does have it, just doesn't use it, just don't need for him to use it. Only Broly can use Akari most of the time. So yeah. Goku has an idea that it's going to ruin his key reserves, but for Jiren it's necessary. Goku ended up going Super Saiyan Blue, then yelling Kaioken times 50, which shocked everyone. But then everyone saw Goku then coat his body in Akari, and began fighting Jiren at maximum output, which everyone is amazed that Goku can withstand this much ki exhaust. But only withstand it for roughly about 5 minutes or so, before the form just goes away and Goku then passes out. Before Jiren can take him out of bounds, 18 will grab Goku, throwing him 17, who is on a mission, grabbing her and Goku out of there. As they appear, kind of just next to Broly, who had actually beaten Kale and then kind of gave her tips to control the Berserker. Kale would just nod with these tips as Wasa and so go back to fighting them with Go Tanks. 17 had already beaten Hit, so yeah. But he actually Goku had such a form of his sleeve. With this, well, Goku immediately kind of like stood up shaking. And someone from him tried to attack them, being like, Well, like, see how strong number 7 is, that Analaza would probably be formed earlier, and that made the first revision may work on Analaza. So before anyone goes into attack Analaza, who tries to attack number 7 first, Goku ends up separating Analaza completely, which shocks everyone, and when Analaza separated, everyone's shot right out of bounds. So yeah, Goku passed out one more time. Broly shoots him full of ki, as Broly has basically infinite ki at this point. So yeah. Well, not infinite ki, but so much ki to the point where it's nearly infinite, so it worked out for him. So Goku ended up standing up, being actually pretty shocked that his ki left now. But you saw that Broly gave him a few ki. Gave him a few bits of ki. But yeah. Now with this, we go on, probably just the tournament ending. Now, well, Broly versus like Jiren happened again. Jiren going full power, but the fight kind of was ended by Goku, as Broly ended up losing full power Jiren, and Broly was knocked out of bounds. Goku has to fight Jiren in Broly's place now, but Goku had not Super Saiyan, Ultra Instinct Omen, but only Omen. His training with Whis was a bit short because he had to master Spirit Control. So yeah, but with the Spirit Control fully mastered and all those abilities that he has currently, Ultra Instinct Omen, Second Coming, was actually able to contend at full power Jiren. But that allows him to beat him. So Jiren lost to Ultra Instinct Omen. But Goku having a lot more time on it, he just went around the whole arena, knocking out anyone he could. Whenever he knocked out half the arena, that wasn't his team. So yeah, with this, his team completely just dominated the other half, and they win. With actually Broly and Tien being their only outs. Tien being the weakest, and then Broly being their strongest. Besides Goku, but yeah. But Goku didn't become the strongest until late into the what if. So yeah. And with this, we go on to, I'd probably say just now, the Moro arc. Goku has had a few years of no Broly arc, so yeah. He's had a few years of training with Whis to learn Ultra Instinct Omen. And Broly ended up going over to Universe 6 to actually take care of Kale, just to actually help her with her abilities. And Wasa went with him. So yeah. Now by the time of the Moro arc, Broly come back with Wasa, and 18 had to see them again. She actually took their place to train with Beerus. So yeah. Then the Moro arc, well, basically everyone has God Ki besides Chi-Chi and Bulma. So, well, and Bola, but you know, or Bra, but whatever, I don't care. Looking at the Moro arc, it ended relatively quickly. Yeah, Moro absorbed a few Namekians, but I think the Force Spirit Vision could help a decent amount, because especially since like 3 people have it, now 4 being Vegeta. So eventually Moro can't really absorb too much ki anymore, or people, because they're gonna be separated from him. So yeah. Well, also they still have one wish to be Dragon Balls, actually, because there's really nothing to wish for. They don't have anything to wish for. But so they should like West Grand Prix with the wish on standby, but have the Dragon Balls ready for them in case they want it. We came to the Moro arc, and they saw how much people he's absorbing, and Force Vision probably can't work, I would imagine. I kind of forgot a lot of the arc now. But it could be a good moment for them to probably tap in on that wish. So yeah. Like when Shin's like, you know, only Grand Super God can beat Moro. Goku's like, but we have Super Dragon Balls on standby. Why don't we just use those? So when Goku found Beerus like, and he speak language, but not as good as like Whis for my dad. With this, we found Whis brought Goku Super Dragon Balls, and the first wish was basically to erase Moro and its lackeys from existence, and it worked immediately. So the Moro arcs done for right there. Just because Moro almost absorbed Goku. Not Goku, I mean, almost absorbed Broly. But it only erased Moro and his lackeys, and Moro absorbed was spat back out. They're brought back. So yeah. So Moro and anyone who's on his side is just erased. But then Granola, which would happen. But Granola has to fight Goku, who has a bit stronger Ultra Instinct. Vegeta, who's relatively stronger as well. Plus Broly. Basically, he has to fight anyone who trained under Beerus and Whis. which would mean he's losing horribly. So yeah, like that is so many Super Saiyan Blues that I cannot count. So yeah, actually I think it's just 3. Never mind. That's the thing about all Saiyans. I don't know why. They all have Super Saiyan Blue, but they don't all use them. Goku uses Ultra Instinct, Vegeta uses Ultra Ego, Broly uses Legendary Super Saiyan, Gohan uses Ultimate. Yeah. So when they fight against Ronaldo, Ronaldo loses relatively quickly, actually. The fight ends in, like, the same chapter it began. Then we'd have, like, Gas coming in, but the same thing happened to Gas. The fight ends as quickly as the fight ends in the chapter it began in. So Gas loses. Then Gas is also killed, then so is Elec and Maki and Oil. So, yeah. But this kind of ends the What If here. If you guys enjoyed, like and subscribe for more. Adios.